Have we ever talked about why you shouldn't make giant PDF of an entire production? I don't think we did. Let's talk about that. Welcome to Plum Beach. Now, I don't know if this is a real beach or not. Definitely too dirty to actually go swimming here. But I believe people come here for fishing. Let's go explore this a little bit. Right, on to the topic of our video. Sometimes we get these requests when people say, can you take this entire data set, entire production, sizable saved search or something like that, and can you export all that out into one giant PDF? And that's probably one of the worst ideas that I can think of. In this video, let's talk about why I think that is so. Now, I believe there are two intentions behind this type of request. One is somebody is trying to make it more convenient to look at their data. The second meaning is someone's being a jerk. Imagine someone's going away for a weekend, they're going to their house in Hamptons, and they just want to take a bunch of documents and they want to look at them on their iPad, sitting by the pool, scrolling through, just enjoying life and casually glancing at documents at work. And there's nothing really wrong with that idea. However, there are a lot of problems that come when you're trying to create that big PDF, and there are a lot of questions you have to ask client, to which they go like, wait, why are you asking me, and so on. And rather than complaining, you shouldn't do this, let's keep this as a practical to-do list. If your client does want to do it, how can you do it for them more effectively and ask them all the questions ahead of time? Now, the first problem you're going to have with this type of requests is documents you cannot TIFF. And the client's going to ask you for one big PDF, and you're going to ask them, hey, what if there are documents we can't TIFF? What should we do with them? And they're going to say, what? They're documents you can't TIFF? Which ones are they? And you say, well, we don't know the exact ones, but there could be, right? I mean, you gave us a saved search of documents, so we have to image them. There could be exceptions. So they'll be like, okay, well, let me know which ones you can TIFF. And now you're starting down on the totally wrong path, the direction you don't want to go. Because now you're going to tell them, okay, we couldn't TIFF this one and this one and that one. And they're going to be like, oh, but we were able to open this one with Quick View. And the other one, one of my coworkers had an old version of Lotus 123, so we were able to. So see what you can do. And so now you're starting chasing all these file types that normally would just be exceptions, placeholder, and done. And now you have client, picking at each one and trying to figure out what to do with them, because of course they want their giant PDF to be as complete as possible. And a similar thing happens with Excel. So you ask them, hey, so what should we do with Excel files? And they're going to ask you, are there any? And you say, well, yeah, there are, a dozen or 2 dozen or so. Should we do? And they'll say, well, yeah, TIFF them out, of course. And so you'd be like, really? You want us to start TIFFing all the Excels out? There could be a lot of pages. So now they start thinking, well, is it a good idea, bad idea? We get into that argument. And a lot of times they will say like, yes, get them all TIFFed out. But then also they're going to say, well, we want the PDF to be searchable. So you're going to have to OCR all those pages. And yeah, speaking of OCR, there's usually no easy way to OCR a giant PDF file. You open it up on Adobe, you go, recognize text and let it go. And you see the page count going 1, 2, 3, 4. And you realize this is going to take forever, right? So is there a better way to OCR those giant PDF files? One thing you can do is you can export PDFs by document so that each document is a PDF. And then what you can do, folder them into 15 different subfolders, as many stations as you have available for OCR, have each station OCR its own folder, and then once OCR is already embedded in PDFs, use Adobe Acrobat to merge them into one big file. Just make sure you get the order right. And Adobe Acrobat is good enough that it'll merge underline OCR and it'll put it into that one big PDF. And the last difficulty of this one giant PDF, it's really hard to work with it with a cross-reference file. It's hard to point to specific documents inside the PDF. Yes, you can embed certain information as table of content, but it's generally not as good as having each document in a separate file and having like a CSV or DAT file, which gives you information about something you may have tagged or something like that. You know, this beach is actually much cleaner than I remember. I used to come here, it was really dirty. Now only, well, very little dirt, mostly just seaweeds and stuff. Lots of people come here to like kayak and fish and such, so this isn't looking as terrible as I remember. Next thing we have to do is address second category of people. And those are the ones who want to take production, export it into one big PDF, and produce it as such. And those are the people who are being jerks to the other side. Now, there's no arguing about that. You know, whether it's justifiable being a jerk or not, this is exactly what's happening. So when you're giving them one big PDF, you're inconveniencing the other side in some way. Now, it could also have been that during negotiations of a production format, both parties were non-technical and they just agreed on something they both know, and they said PDF, we produce you PDF, you produce us PDF. But that rarely happens these days, at least as far as I know. Whenever you give the other side this one big PDF, there are no document breaks. So now they have to pay someone, possibly offshore this, and have someone go through the documents and try to figure out where each document starts and ends. And for a sizable document collection, this could be significant cost and time investment. And those production PDFs may or may not have OCR embedded. So again, you're making it more difficult for the other side to search the documents. And so now they have to split the documents and then run OCR so the documents are searchable. But the quality of OCR is nowhere near as good as extracted text. So now their searching is going to be substandard. And of course, that document production does not include any metadata, and there is no way to link metadata to appropriate document. The best you can do is give them a Bates number of a page that's in the middle of that big PDF, but it's usually not included. You usually just get one PDF with no metadata. So again, you're limiting the other side to what they can do with that data. So it all comes down to you are being a jerk to the other side. And the way it's going to come back to you is they are going to do same thing to you. Is it worth it for you or not? I don't know. I'm not involved in these legal debates. I'm on the technical side. From what I see on the technical side, it is not worth it. It's best to produce something that's going to be working okay for the other side and expect them to do the same thing to you. You know, if you are being a jerk, expect that others are going to be jerks to you. So let me know if you guys see these requests a lot. I tend to see them less frequently now, but occasionally you get a couple of clients who just start asking for this. Any other problems you've seen with these PDF types of requests, let me know in the comments section below. And if you did like this video, please follow me or hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. And don't forget, I make different apps for lit support that make lit support suck less. For them, check out #legal.com. I will see you on the next video.